it's up and got lots of water in it, which it was probably at the time that he was drowned. See, if his horse was a good swimmer and he was thrown off in there and the river was up, the horse had probably swum that river a number of times. In fact, Pop said that he'd go over there when they got low on bacon, if they ever got low on bacon, well, he'd go across the river and shoot a hog, and he'd tie this hog onto this horse and drag him home. Well, when he get to the river, he'd put a longer rope on him and drag him across the river, see? So the horse had swum the river a lot of times. He knew what he was doing, I guess, and there was no trouble there because the horse came on home. See, whenever he was killed or drowned in the river, the horse came on home, so they went looking for him. They knew there was something wrong then, see? The horse came on home with a saddle on and everything, so they and the neighbors got out and went looking for him, but he had floated down the river, and he was in the river about a week before they found him. But they'd started the hunt the same day that he disappeared, so Pop said. And
did he ever tell you where he was buried?
No, he never did say anything about it, but evidently it was a little cemetery there in the neighborhood. And also, after his father was killed, Pop said they had a man working for him by the name of Lamar. And this Lamar was a quiet, easy-going fella, and he took a liking to his mother. And I asked him one time what the tie was with his mother, and he said, well, he thought Lamar, if he'd lived, he would have probably married his mother later. But Lamar got killed, and what happened was, then the killing of Lamar was that on this place, his mother had some staves to be cut, and she had a man by the name of Brown and his boy cutting some staves, fence posts. And they cut a bunch of these posts, and it was cold one day in the wintertime, and she sent Lamar, along with Brown and his boy, out to this stack of posts to count out those posts and pay him for that, see, to straighten up the work. So they went out there and they were counting these posts, and the weather was cold, and they all had on overcoats. He talked like it might have been zero weather, close to it. So when Lamar was counting these posts, they found one little skinny, shabby thing in there, and Lamar just threw it out of the pile, see, and remarked to the guy, said that wasn't worth paying whatever he was paying for. So it was something said about it, and they had a little cuss fight over it, and this boy had a little .32 pistol in his pocket, and he pulled it out and shot Lamar, and with this .32, and they were all three horseback, and Lamar started fooling around trying to unbutton his overcoat. He had on a big overcoat, said it was heavy and had heavy buttons on it, and he was trying to open this overcoat, and this man Brown saw what he was doing, see, so he told his boy to run and get away, that the old man was going for a gun. And that Lamar finally got his coat unbuttoned, and the boy had run off about 40 or 50 yards getting away, see, from him. And Lamar walked up to his horse and leaned his pistol with both hands up over the saddle, laid it in the saddle, and pulled the trigger, and he shot the back of this boy's head off, killed him. So they buried him there, and this man stumbled to his horse and got to the house, and he died when he got to the house. And they buried them both in a little cemetery there. And then from there on, well, of course, she went to live with the Indians, and she had an Indian boyfriend, and I don't know what all, but it all parallels. Huh?
He told you that?
Who is she now?
Yeah, who is she?
Who is she?
His mother.
Mother.
His mother?
His mother.
Daddy's mother, huh?
Yes, Daddy's mother.
Did he tell you she was part Indian, is why she went to live with the Indians or something like that?
Well, no, he never did tell me that.
He never told me she was Indian either.
No, he told me she was Irish. He told me his mother was Irish. He
She
always
was-
said that.
I've heard him say, though, that she was a beautiful woman, and she had coal black hair, and she was a gifted woman, and she knew how to read and write. And they had what they called a dark Friday there one time, and it was an eclipse, and the people didn't know about it, and the neighbors come in to her and crying that it was getting dark, see, from this eclipse, and they thought the world was coming to an end, and she went and got the almanac down and read to them about it being an eclipse, see, and explained to them what it was, and got them quieted down, and they quit bawling and squalling or whatever it was they were doing, and she straightened them out. But she also was gifted in new music. She taught him music, and him and Aunt Annie had to study the, what do you call it, the do, re, mi, and all that.
Had to study
They had
music.
to study the music.
Did your grandmother sing?
She never ever said anything about music, but she only went to the school till the 3rd grade,
Yeah.
and she could read, but she couldn't write. She couldn't write her own name. But for a woman that never had much education, she was a very wise person.
Yeah.
She could, very wise.
Did she tell you that she was Irish or Cherokee?
No, she was Cherokee.
Cherokee? She told you that?
She always said she is Cherokee Indian. And she said she was put in this home when she was very, very young. And I don't know whether it was an orphanage, I think it was, or else an Indian school. I don't know which. But then she was taken out of there by people by the name of McCullough. McCullough. And they had a boy named Will McCullough. She always called him her half-brother. But then I've just heard pieces and parts, because she raised me till I was about 14. I stayed with Grandma. And Grandpa wouldn't let her discuss it. But once in a while something would come up that she would
And she talked to
she'd
you about
talk
it.
about. And she said that she had a sister named Maggie. And she lived up the street from Grandma. And she had quite a few children. And she had a brand new baby, and Maggie was in bed with this newborn baby, and her husband waited on her and served her a cup of poison tea. He poisoned her. And Grandma, now I can remember this. I can almost remember part of this. Grandma wanted to take her children to raise, and the people wouldn't allow it because Grandma had 13 of her own.
The state wouldn't allow it.
Yeah, they said no, Grandma had too many, couldn't take care of all those kids.